Hey y'all, welcome back to the ranch. I'm Jared Paul, and today I wanted to give you an update on all of the Delonix Regias that I have. They are from the Planter's Choice Bonsai Starter Kit, and it's my absolute favorite species of tree. I have a bunch in different stages of life, some that germinated indoors, some that germinated outdoors, and then I believe I convinced my bride to join me to prune up a couple of other tropical trees that we have growing here at the ranch. So that's what's coming up on today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai. Right, so we might as well start with my prize piece. She's not looking her best right now. I believe the main window that I have her in the plant room, I believe just the draft coming off the pond this winter is, and she's getting so much larger that it's really affecting it with that cold coming through the glass at night. It gets a lot of sun and really warms up during the day, but at night it's definitely chilly. And that part of the house is the only part that's not over the basement, so that makes it slightly colder on the floor to begin with. And also that's where we have our doggy door, and those guys are in and out all the time, and it never really gets a tight seal. So that room's probably 10 degrees cooler than the rest of the house, which I keep in the mid 60s. That's Fahrenheit. I'm not doing the conversion. So anyways, this Delonix Regia is going to be 3 years old, grown from seed this February, so next month, so almost 3. And it grew really well this summer. I pruned it a couple of times. I got spider mites and some like green little flies on it, so I had to treat it for that a couple of times. But I really like the sway that it's getting in the trunk, and it's really starting to thicken up. So what I want to do when it recovers this spring, which I'm feeling pretty confident that it will really come back out this spring and give you that huge growth and canopy that they're known for. What I'd like to do is almost do a start over, a do-over, because these branches here, like, they came up and then they crossed, and certain times I might have let it go too long with a plan to prune them back. So I like the divide here, and they kind of head away from each other, but I would like to chop this one here. And then this branch, I'm not sure if like these even survived. I'm not sure if they're dead or some version of dormancy. But I would probably take this one, down to here if they didn't survive. If they did, I might leave them, and with taking out, the thicker part that comes back across the rest of the tree, that might solve the problem. But I love it up until, basically this point. I'm very happy. Here down. I had done a repotting in it was bonsai soil from a chili pepper bonsai grow kit that Laura had gotten me, and I just didn't have any soil when I wanted to repot this, so I used that, and it's been great. It's really fast draining, so I give it a nice soaking right now about once a week, and then let it pretty much dry out, repeating process. And when I remember to, I like to mist all my trees. So that's that. This is a Delonix that popped up outside this year, and the seeds, I probably had them 9 months, and I just probably recycled the soil with some other plantings, and then they started germinating at really the peak of summer, getting in those long, hot days. And I had 4 of them, and I sent 3 out to my bonsai broskies. One to Ian at Back Garden Bonsai. He's out in Ireland. Bonsai Jay up in Canada, and his neighbor Nigel Saunders of the Bonsai Zone, both around the Toronto area, I believe, in Canada. And everybody kept it inside once they got it, and they all pretty much look the same right now, as far as they're short. This hasn't received a pruning. They're short, already getting woody, and lots of nice branching, continuous branches coming out the top. Like, I'm loving this thing. And they've given a couple of updates on their channel, so I'm sure they have them listed as a playlist. So if you wanted to check out Back Garden Bonsai, the Bonsai Zone, or Bonsai J, I would recommend that. So these are all kind of like cousin trees, all from the same group of seeds, same soil, germinated same time. So it'll be fun to see where everybody takes theirs. Now, this one over here, this germinated indoors, okay, along with a whole bunch of them, which I have in a group planting with a couple avocado trees, and I'll show you that in a little bit. And you see how tall and leggy this guy is. And it's starting to get a woody trunk, and this one hasn't received a pruning either. So, you know, the other one's probably this high with its trunk, and now this one is, you know, 4 or 5 times the height. Same seeds, germinated same time, just the only difference is this was in an indoor pot, and the shorter ones were in an outdoor pot. So, for whatever that means, I just find it really interesting. So maybe you do too. So these will probably get their first pruning in spring. Maybe I'll wait till like summer, let them get out of control, and then let those trunks thicken up and then prune them. With that first one that I showed you, that was the only one I grew with that first Planter's Choice Bonsai Starter Kit. I waited 8 months before I pruned it, and it actually hit the ceiling. It got really tall, so that was cool. It was also a heart attack moment when you chop off 6.5 feet of your favorite bonsai tree. Okay, so you see this is kind of madness, and this is just how it happened. I had these 2 avocados pop up out of nowhere. I had, you know, I guess the seeds in the soil for some time, and I guess I repurposed some soil with these, or I just stuck them in and said, you know what, if and when they germinate, cool. And they really did. So I believe I have 9 or 10 Delonix in here. I lost one of them. I believe that was it was either spider mites or black aphids. I have so many trees and so many plants, and everything's always trying to attack them, so it's hard to remember. Maybe if I wrote something down, but I'm not going to do that. So I gave these actually did receive a pruning in early to late fall, and all but that one seemed to have recovered nicely. All the leaves are really nice and full and green, pretty, and I think this planting is going to have a lot of character. Eventually I'll invest in a nice bonsai pot, and if I could pull off a forest planting with 2 avocados and 9 or 10 of these Delonix, I think that would be fun. So, all right, so that's the update on my Delonix Regia. If you want to hang around, Laura and I are going to prune up 2 Dracena, attempting to get them to branch out, and 2 Cherimoya, which is a vine, but I'm treating it as a bonsai tree. So stand by for that. All right, y'all. So I might have misnamed it in the introduction. I called these Dracenas, which they resemble what I've seen, you know, people call Dracenas and create bonsais from, also known as the dragon's blood. However, this says it's a cordyline Australis red star. Now, if my broski Todd from Todd's Tropicals watches this episode, he will quickly correct me and give us the appropriate information. So, anyways, he's got a great channel, and if you're into tropicals and orchids, he is like the man. Knows every scientific name by heart, and yeah, so this is definitely something new for us to be doing. So the plan is, I think these are pretty as like an accent plant, but they're in the monster plant room, and I'm just going to continue to run out of room. So I would like to see these branch and have multiple heads coming off. So the goal is today to peel some of these down, give it one hard prune, and, you know, hope they come back. So I'm just going to start pulling these down. I've seen people do these on their videos. They pull these down after the cut and then pot them up in some soil to get them to root as cuttings. I don't think I'm going to do that today. I don't need any more plants. I honestly don't even know what pot or what area we'd be able to fit anymore.
I don't either.
So I'm just going around like slow, steady pressure to pull them, so you're not ripping anything unnecessarily, and you're not breaking it off too early either. think that's about good right there. I'm just going for it, baby.
Oh my gosh.
So y'all know my bride, Laura. If you did not catch the announcement episode, we are pregnant. She's 4 months along now. We're having a baby girl. So really, really excited over here. So trying to keep her as zen and happy as possible during this pregnancy. Boom.
That's not zen for me. Is that good?
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay.
I like how yours has a little bend in it.
Yeah.
So coincidentally, the two species of trees I wanted to prune today, we had 2 plants of each. So I was like, "You gonna join me?" So I put on my Colorado Bonsai shirt, and I come out, and I'm in the kitchen getting organized, and then she comes out, and for the first time in months, both of us have worn this shirt, and she came out in her Colorado shirt. Like, how serendipitous is that? And are you gonna prune it or what?
I'm afraid.
So I figured I would throw on the Colorado hat to complete it.
Which ones do I use?
I just did this one, but
Okay.
I don't know if your hand can do it.
Why am I doing it like up here?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Squeeze it. Boom. Yes.
Sticking
So
up
hopefully in
hot.
a couple of months you'll see like 3 branches coming out of these bad boys. So anyways, I threw on the Colorado hat to complete the trifecta. And it's one of those hats that, like, I loved it when I bought it because it looked cool, but I've never liked it on my head with a beard, without a beard, short hair, long hair. Take those, baby. All right, so now we're going to prune up a couple of cherimoyas. So cherimoya, I've never had the fruit, but it is rated as the second most nutrient-dense food that exists, second only to almonds. And it's famous for Mark Twain saying that it was the most delicious food he'd ever had. So I ordered these on Etsy from a dude, Pablo, in Portugal, and we got a few to germinate, and then one died off this summer, I believe. I can't really remember, but Laura thinks so.
And we can't find it.
We can't find it, so obviously it's not here. Okay. So, maybe not the best for bonsai, but I think they're cool. Nice big leaves. So hopefully, these are kind of like avocado leaves. Hopefully, over the years, we'll get them to refine a little bit. So I'm not going to take it as low as I typically would if this was like really muscular growing season. I'm going to leave a couple of different sets of leaves instead of taking it all the way down to the last set of leaves. And boom, boom. So getting some thickness to the trunk. It's really pretty boring and straight, but at least we've gotten to it to split into 2. I'm hoping with this, I'll get at least a couple more branches to come off of it.
I don't even know where to start.
Just start with a branch. There's no wrong way to do bonsai. Whatever looks good to you.
Mm-mm.
I'll be right back.
It makes me nervous. I hate pruning.
You can use the black scissors if you want, they're better.
Do you want this tall one taken down?
Absolutely.
Like lower, or is this split into?
Why don't we leave that one as the apex? I'll go a little higher with it. Yeah, let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
So both of these are just training pots. They're not classic bonsais, and I mean, it's going to take a while before these even resemble a bonsai because of the size of the leaves. So I feel like these pots are fine. So you're probably wondering, baby names, right? So Stella Lucia Khrushchevsky is going to be her name.
Yes.
So Laura and I both love the name Stella. That was my paternal grandmother. His name, and she was from Poland, but it's, I believe, an Italian name. And then on my Italian side, my grandma's family was from Florence. That's my maternal side. Her name was Lucia. So Stella
Put 'em
Lucia,
together.
what's better than that? I like it.
Me too. Should these leaves be taken off?
Yeah, they're pretty nasty.
Do I just clip them?
Yeah, that's cool. So these older leaves, I don't know if it's just from age or maybe sunburn from the glare through the window or what, but they're looking pretty ugly. So she's just removing any leaves with spots or browning or yellowing towards the ends. Actually works out because then you're just left with the smaller leaves, which makes it a lot more attractive in my opinion. I don't think I have enough on mine to do it, baby.
No.
With this one, probably what I'll do is once it starts to branch out and leaf out again, I'll prune off the older leaves.
How's that? Should this thing come off? Or is
Yeah, you could do that. So last time I left a couple of inches for dieback because it was the first pruning of this species for me, and so now she's just going to remove that as close as possible.
close as possible?
I guess I could do that up here too. A boom boom. So this is great. It's our first Saturday on the ranch with absolutely no agenda, nothing we have to do, only stuff we want to do. Franny is back in the city, starting her spring season with her ballet company. So life is good. I hope y'all are taking the time to find things that you enjoy and spend time doing them. It really helps during really obnoxious times like these. So it looks like that's going to do it for today's episode of Jarhead Bonsai, y'all. Thank you for joining me, baby. And anyways, see y'all soon. Cheers.